Good evening. This is Lisa Gillum, and I have thought long and hard about this commemorative speech, and I decided that I wanted to recognize somebody that has had the most influential impact on my life, and that would be my grandmother. Mama, as I always called her. Mama was such a beautiful person. She was always there for me, always there to give advice, always there if I needed to ask questions. She was a hard worker. She is the person who has instilled the work ethics in me today. And she taught me how to be a young lady. She taught me right from wrong. I will never forget all the things that she has done for me. I know what you're thinking too, that I had to have been raised by my grandmother, but that wasn't the case. I had two parents at home, but she is the one that stuck out and done the most for me. When I was probably about 5 or 6, I started spending the nights, Friday nights, with my mama and papa. Mama would make a grocery list. Me and papa would go to the store, trade for groceries as they called it. We'd get home, we would eat supper, spend the night. Saturday morning she would always let me lay on the couch and watch Saturday morning cartoons when there was such a thing. That was my spoiling time, and I loved it. It wasn't always, relaxing time. Papa had a farm of about 100 acres. So all through the week and on Saturday afternoons, we worked on the farm, and Mama was right there with us. We had cattle, we had pigs, we had chickens. All of them had to be fed, and I was right there with them. They had a garden, green beans, corn, carrots, lettuce, tomatoes, anything you could think of was in that garden. And they would tend to the garden. We would can at the end of the gardening season, and there was a cellar down below in the basement that we would keep all the canned goods. Peach trees, cherry trees, apple trees, raspberries, strawberries, all kinds of fruit to make jelly. I always helped her with that. She was always working. I was right with her. She taught me how to make sure that the job was right the first time. She taught me, do it right the first time. You don't have to go back and redo it. Now, even though things were done outside, Mama's job was never done. She still managed somehow to cook 3 meals a day, hot meals, for my papa and all my workers that was there. She never stopped, but she always kept it all together. Now, I did have a life outside the farm. When I was in probably about 3rd grade, I made the basketball team. Well, Mama was the one that took me to practice. Mama was the one that picked me up. She was there at all my ball games. And as I went through high school, I added volleyball, I added track. So there was some kind of sport that I was doing year round. But Mama was always at my house to pick me up early. She was always waiting on me when I got finished with practice. She was just a wonderful lady. My Mama was a Christian lady too. She took me to church when I was small because my parents didn't go. She is the one that introduced me to Jesus. She's the one that got me interested in church. She's the one that is the reason of my relationship with Jesus that I have now. The hardest thing that I ever had to face was when my grandmother came down with Alzheimer's. She became a person that I didn't know. She didn't know us. We couldn't recognize what she was saying. She became combative. She would wander off from home. We would find her out in the highway, out in the road. And we finally realized that it was time to put her in a nursing home. Broke my heart because Mama was always one to take care of herself. And, she didn't want people doing things for her. She wasn't in the nursing home long until she had a stroke. And she had to go to the hospital. when she returned from the hospital, she died the first night in the nursing home. That was in 1990. And I remember after the funeral, it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks, my mom asked me if I wanted to go down in the basement and go through some of her things to see if there was anything that I wanted. Well, her brother, her sister had already went through most of the stuff, and I didn't think there would be anything, for me. But I went down and I went through the boxes, and there was Mama's Bible. I thought, all of her kids have went through this and nobody wanted a Bible. See, Mama's Bible was special to her. Not only did she carry it to church, but she kept newspaper clippings of my basketball games. She kept pictures of the grandchildren. She kept cards that people got her, things that were special to her she kept in her Bible. Well, I grabbed her Bible and I said, this is what I want. And I still have it to this day, with all the clippings and everything that's inside that Bible. I still have it. I'll never let it go. I've never met a woman that had it all together like my grandmother did. She wasn't afraid of work. She wasn't afraid of getting dirty. She never quit. She was always there for me. Mama, this speech is for you. I love you and I miss you.